But yes, for those playing the home game, install the brakes before you install the high steer arms.
Steffi, come here. Does that look okay? Yep, good. Okay.
All right, another weekend back in the shop. I'm gonna try to completely tie off on this front axle this weekend, hopefully today. With that, we've finished the assembly. Now we've got to deal with brakes. This is a whole complete kit, rotors, calipers, pads, comes from Powerstop as a unit with an upgraded high friction pad for the big tires we're running, and the drilled and slotted rotors. Again, a little bit more cooling, a little bit more friction to stop with us. All new hardware to put this together with our Torq Motorsports big brake kit. Little problem we have to solve today has to deal with making parts that were never designed to fit together fit. So one little problem we've got, and this is purely a case of pieces that were never meant to fit together being used on the same vehicle, is associated with this big brake kit and our high steer arms. You can see down here our caliper bolt will go right through the bracket, no problems. Now, when we come up to the top, ordinarily this would be just a cap on this axle, not the high steer arm. But with the high steer arm in here, we can see there is no way that bolt is going to go through that hole. We can see that the bolt will sit once in place just fine with no interference, but to remove the caliper, or at least to remove the caliper bolt, is going to require the high steer arm to come off. So, and we had the same problem on the passenger side as we're actually on the driver's side as well. So what we're going to have to start with is removing our high steer arms, then we'll put our brake system together, and then we'll put the high steer arms back on top of the axle.
You dropped your bolt.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to want to know if we can finagle it all together with the...
I want to know if you can put on a glove with one hand. Wow. Wow. Oh, Kenneth, you may need to put your body weight on the axle here.
Loctite.
Oh, we did Loctite him, didn't we?
Yep.
But yes, for those playing the home game, install the brakes before you install the high steer arms.
And actually, if you want to come in here, April, you can see the knuckle has this divot here, and the steel here forces it to fit right here. If they design this bracket differently, they could maybe rotate it, clock it, but it is what it is.
Basically, the Dodge and Chevy outers are all interchangeable.
Butterfingers. So, Kenneth, for those who missed the prior video explanation, why are you one-armed?
Because I didn't stay in my Jeep and the rubber side didn't stay down.
You mean the rubber side of your shoes?
Yes.
Kenneth had an accident.
I was climbing on a obstacle, trying to get to a better vantage point for the action, and the ground didn't stay where I wanted it to be.
Everybody, stay safe out there. Not only in your vehicles, but out of them too.
It's funny. Most of the people injury Jeep accidents I see are people outside of the vehicle.
I did that last year.
Yeah, on Chinaman's.
Yep. I tripped.
And that's when you found that having 4-point harnesses is really good for a chest injury.
It's wiggling. I saw it move.
I saw it
move when you grabbed both sides.
There it goes.
And do you have to take it all the way off, or would that be enough? Oh, I guess all the way off it
All the way
is.
off.
And do we have another gasket?
I think I do have some more gaskets.
Okay. Okay, now that this is out of the way, the stud may still be a problem. And
So Roy is leveraging the same removal technique that we showed in the last video when we had to remove a difficult stud on that side.
yeah. Now these are conical bolt or nuts, and so I'm putting the flat sides together. Any two nuts basically will work. And so you just get them touching, and then
Cinch them up against each other.
yeah, tighten it down. Okay, and then you go against the, in this case, the bottom nut, and
Out comes the stud.
out comes the stud. So now that the stud is out of the way, I'm going to get some of this gasket material out, just to make sure we get a nice clean seal with the new gasket. All we need to do is that. So all that work just to get that bolt in place.
This is why people hate doing this stuff.
Is
Not fit.
not fit.
I think this is what's keeping me.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nope.
Okay, so back to the point. One of the things the big brake kit does is convert to a floating rotor instead of the standard press-on from the back side. In order to accommodate that, we have to turn down the size of this knuckle hub. Turn down the outer side of the hub in order to accommodate the floating rotor, and it will allow it to slide over.
You did that with Penny.
We did, and
You took it down to Aaron's.
And we test fit everything.
First.
When we did that, it appears that this,
We missed that step in the instructions. Or it wasn't in the instructions.
well, it appears that we didn't turn this one down enough.
Oh,
because
did we?
we did
Oh yeah, you took
actually
those
see
too.
the surface, right? This
Oh.
has been turned down.
Yeah, you took those as
It
well.
appears that we didn't turn it down enough, or that this
Okay.
rotor is slightly undersized
Yeah, on the inside diameter.
on the inside diameter. So
Well, poop.
we will have to fiddle with that a bit. Let's check the other side and see if it will fit, because again, each one of these was turned separately.
Yeah.
Persuasion or how much interference we've got left, because we did turn those down already.
I got it. Okay, this one fits.
So that one fits correctly.
So this one was turned down enough, or that one, the rotor itself is
Slightly
out of spec.
slightly undersized.
So yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to sit like that. So we could manually grind.
Because it doesn't have to be precise.
Well, and we can have, somebody can sit there and hold the grinder, somebody else can spin the hub, and it'll be, it won't be precision machine, but it will be
Close enough.
close enough.
Do you think this is their way of saying they need a lathe in this shop?
That's-
Expertly installed.
So now, we come over, and this is standard disc brake assembly from here. The bracket goes in, And our bolts with Loctite go in there. It's already got Loctite.
115 socket fits, 15/16 socket fits, the other does not.
Interesting.
And either my socket is bunged up a little bit or the
So probably could use a Torq spec.
Hey Siri, what is the Torq spec for a... So, the heavy-duty front brake caliper bracket has a Torq specification of...
180 foot-pounds. Did I guess it?
I'm saying 275.
April is closest without going over.
Oh, jeez. $275.
You mean I guessed it?
But we do have a problem. Come look at this bolt.
Not lining up.
Let me
It
see.
is making contact with the caliper.
Right there.
The bolts are too long.
The bolts are too long. So we either need
Either need shorter bolts or washers.
that are big enough.
But there's only so much clearance, so there's only so much we can do with this one. We need shorter bolts. Poop.
Or we need to shorten those bolts.
Yeah, we can do that.
So, okay.
What do you choose to do, Kenneth?
I have these bolts. I have grinders. I can shorten a bolt.
We have the tools.
Yep.
We have the resources.
So we went ahead and took the rotor out of the way on the bracket here, and you can see that the bolt sticks through quite a ways. Now the thing is, the cast bracket on the whatever Ford
2009
Dodge, yeah, the cast portion for the bracket on the factory axle that this goes with is probably thicker, and that's what's going on. But since these stick out so far, they're going to hit the rotor and they'll grind a groove into the rotor, and that's bad. So we're just gonna mark these bolts. We're gonna chop them off, make them shorter, flush or nearly flush, and that way they'll fit. Because finding bolts this big on a Saturday is hard.
When half the county shut down because of a snowstorm.
Right, because of a snowstorm. Yeah, and these are metric, so it's even harder. So,
Yeah, and that is a grade, I mean, it's a
it's a 10.9.
probably a 10.9 bolt of a very specific shape and size for brake hardware. So all things considered, we're going to modify the bolt rather than start the scavenger hunt. That is it's a Dorman part that is supposed to be for the factory 2009 brake caliper. That is what this
That's what
kit
this bracket is.
adapts the axle to.
Yeah. Okay. So, I actually don't like this because it's not as precise. Can you get me one of the precision guys? So, 0.382 inches. If I go to a fraction inch, it's basically 3/8.
Okay.
It's just a hair over 3/8.
One-handed? How many people does it take to put glasses on
I
Kenneth?
was gonna say it just that particular pair wants to.
I want you to make sure that I'm coming in straight. I'm not angled.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got the bolt cut off and we're test fitting the first one just to make sure we're doing this right. And we did take off too much.
Just a hair, but not by...
Not by...
You're also not fully torqued down, but I realize
Well-
it's not going to drop that much.
I don't know if you saw in the video, after I cut the bolt, I went kind of around the edge, and I just chamfered the edges, because if you get, when you cut a bolt, you can booger up the threads right at the end, and so I ground it down, and this just went right in, so.
Okay. Yeah,
All right,
that one is...
So that one, and if you come over here, you can see it. So we got this one cut right, the others are a little short, but the bolt sticks out just one thread, and so we get full thread engagement just like we like. And then Loctite. Hey, she's got it. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
I was just thinking, I'm sure there are a great number of one-armed mechanics out there who just kill it every day.
Oh, I'm sure.
But for us, it's a novelty, and we like making fun of it.
Need to loosen up.
So now we get to torque these things.
And if you'll remember, I guessed the correct torque last time. Yay!
Probably I've got a mixed 1/2 and 9/16 out here.
Nuts. Because sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't. And look, it still exists.
Close enough. So we're putting 2 lug nuts on just to hold the rotor straight, just to make the rest of the assembly easier.
Nice work, Roy. Bravo.
Yeah, once we get the pads in place, that'll help straighten out the rotor. So if you want to put the clips in place.
And we probably have a little bit of a grease.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the conversation about who has the cleanest glove at the moment.
Not me.
Just to help provide a little bit of lubrication for the pad to slide.
One-handed one.
Yeah. Now I did, once we greased these guys, I did spin the rotor around, because just in case we get any grease on the rotor,
clean it off.
we want to clean it off before the pads touch it.
Before you put those in. Yeah, I think it'll go. Yep.
There we go.
What do you have there, Ken?
A little bit of high temp anti-seize. This is a copper, or copper rather than a silver. It just tolerates temperatures just a little bit better, high temperatures.
That's almost cleaned up.
And this is a case of life is really bad if these bolts seize.
Okay. That's kind of started. Okay, torque we found online was 32 foot-pounds. It's probably some even number of Newton meters. There we go. So yeah, we've got to figure out some kind of cleaning solvent, maybe a universal one, to work on brake parts. Yeah, we use brake parts cleaner to clean almost everything.
What you doing, Roy?
Dropping a wrench. Yeah, now that everything's back together, or all the brakes are together, we are putting the steering arm back on and throwing some Loctite on the studs. On this side,
And I want to show you also, if we can see it, I don't know that we can,
What's that?
up here top, what the bolt liner looked like.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of
So,
room,
in
and
there.
and there's clearance in there.
Yep, there's clearance.
What's our vector, Victor? Roger, roger.
Roger. Right when
I dropped my socket.
I turned the camera on,
Whoops.
Cut.
That's less torque. So we've got our tube sander. You may have seen this in some of our other videos. It's just a belt sander on a angle grinder chain. And so April's gonna turn it on, and we're gonna hold it, and I'm just gonna spin the hub, and hopefully that'll be enough to grind this down just the 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch that we need to get the rotor to fit.
we're using 36 grit paper. Ready to try?
Sure.
And that's basically the way this is going to work is grind a little, test fit. Grind a little, test fit. And certainly made it nice and shiny.
Sure tried. Come here.
I mean, it didn't really need much.
Shouldn't have.
Viola.
There we go.
The first.
This is a lot of second verse, same as the first. Roy is installing lug nuts to help hold the rotor in the correct position. Kenneth is back here, one-armedly.
And Lefty is over here installing brake slider clips.
Oh yeah.
Which will usually come back to haunt me later, trying to do this proactively, but we'll see.
Greasing slide pins. Here's your Loctite. I'll take your Loctite. Expertly removed.
Where's the expert?
I don't know.
I just work here.
We picked you up at a, on the side of the road on a "We'll work for food" sign.
Home Depot parking lot.
When you get too much on one, you just spread it over both of them. And
It's a
then-
happy accident. And then Kenneth decides there's more. And if you're curious where these steering arms came from, these are from Off-Road Design here in Colorado.
Good bunch of guys.
Yep.
Gasket down in place. So yeah. Okay. So yeah. Basically, I just need you to support the weight here.
Yep, just like I did on the other side.
Yep.
Yep, up.
Up more.
There you go.
And in theory, this should. And I'm just using 2 nuts because really all I need to do is just get this to seat fully. Because once it's seated, then April can let go.
Don't let go. Don't let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
You can let go.
That ended so well for Jack, too.
I actually don't know that movie reference.
Oh,
Is that Titanic?
Yes, that's
Okay.
Titanic.
I've never actually watched Titanic.
Yeah, that's just before the sort of hero of the show
Dies.
let's go and drowns.
Yeah. Might actually be out.
might have finally managed to be out.
So what would be better, having a one-armed Kenneth or a 6-year-old kid in the shop? Probably still one-armed Kenneth.
I've been offered a 6-year-old kid a couple of times.
It's amazing how many parents will offer you their 6-year-old kids.
As shop help for a weekend.
Or for get them out of my house for a weekend. Over there.
Steffi, come here. Does that look okay? Yep, good. Okay. This is that copper anti-seize, the high temp stuff.
Okay. So. Hi. I didn't see you there.
Just looking over your shoulder. Andy's taking it to 32.
All right. And with our brake package installed, this axle is now fully assembled, ready to go underneath the vehicle. It's been several weekends getting it here. This one's finally done.
Yep, a couple of missing parts we had to order.
Finally done and ready to go.
Yeah.
So we'll stick it under the rig,
And then it'll sit and collect dust for a while.
and then it'll probably sit and collect dust for a bit.
But the parts boxes are empty and in the trash and out of the way. So it's all good.
Yeah, all good.
Hey Ken, you've got a sticker on this one that says no fluid. You should probably do that one to the other one too.
I want somebody to get kind of comfortable.
Ow!
It's got casters in all four corners. It should move easy.
Yeah.
Tell that to your average shopping cart.
I should get one of those knobs
Oh, yeah.
and swag.
Yeah. Out of the way.
So the plate there is from WFO.
Yeah. Now, just for a temporary installation, we're going to reuse these U-bolts. You have replacements, but this is probably going to come out at least once more.
Yeah, because we know we're going to eventually put a custom spring pack under it, and we're going to have some adjustments made alignment-wise before we're doing the final.
And it's going on the paint rotisserie.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, these are good enough to hold it in place. Back. And these are locking nuts, so I'm only going to be able to get them on so far.
hand me a nut.
like the jack's in the way.
Jack's in the way.
Yeah, I promise you. It's not.
Okay, bring this jack up. Okay, I'm not going to bother torquing or anything because this is just keeping it in position, and that's what it's doing now.
Enough to allow us to roll the chassis.
Right.
Yeah, not expected to be anything.
So let's drop the jacks. Make sure nothing shifts. There you go. Okay, tight enough to hold weight. It's in.
Happy, boys? So this tie rod is from Off-Road Design. Ends as well. It
That's started.
currently is the same one Penny's running. Penny is going to get a new one. And it's going to be a little different than this one. Oh my gosh.
This has a lot of adjustability in it.
Oh yeah. We have a steering part on.
Qualifies as straight-ish.
We may have to shorten that a little bit.
Maybe.
What size lug nut is this? Can you get me a...
The size that we have. I'll be right back.
That's close enough. Go ahead and lift the jack down. Easy.
I was trying to do that easy.
Are these the nuts?
Yes.
Cameraman has hiccups, so.
This is always so much easier when the tire is like a 26-inch tire.
Yeah. You're going to 43s, I'm hoping to go to 42s, and Kenneth is going to 46s. We better get in practice.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is the first
First time it's been on its front tire.
all four tires in a very long time. And I will say that's a big cosmetic change.
Yeah, that's not a small tire.
That's a lot of shiny under this rig too. And please forgive the Carolina squat.
It's not going to have that for very long.
That'll be resolved in the next episode.
Well, what, 43s and
36.
36. So,
Not a small tire on the back either, but
not a small, but compared to this.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So, all right. Thank you. And on our next episode, we'll get the back end up.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.